everyone. Welcome to the Pikeville City Manager's Report. I'm Jill Fraley-Dotson, your host for today's show. As always, joined by Pikeville City Manager Philip Elswick. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
We have a lot to talk about.
We do.
December is a really busy month for the city, and of course it's a year end and lots of things going on. But one of the things that we do in December is always look forward to the new year. We're looking forward to 2020, and we're looking forward to January. And next year, we're going to be really heavily focused on a certain topic in city governments, and that is customer successes of everybody who lives here.
Absolutely. That's one of our focuses for next year. Of course, we have a number of them, but customer success and ensuring that we provide the very best experience for our customers is, definitely one of our focuses for next year. We're taking a number of steps to make sure that happens. And the Commission realizes that it's important that we provide good customer service because the residents of Pikeville and the businesses that choose to locate here do just that. They choose to be here. They don't have to be. And we want to make living and working in Pikeville a rewarding experience. Typically, people do not want to come to City Hall. I mean, I don't understand that, but people don't want to come to City Hall. So we want to make their interactions with the city as easy as possible. And we've talked about this a number of times, that as we move into a more digital age, the city has to keep pace with that. So in the coming months, we're going to be having a new website that rolls out. We'll be looking at new ways that you can obtain your permits and licenses, file your taxes online, pay your taxes online, open utility accounts, and do every interaction you would need to do with the city. We intend for that to be online so that you can obtain what you need to do your job or whatever the case may be without ever having to come to City Hall. It makes your life easier, and that's really our focus in this effort. We're also going to be remodeling City Hall. The goal there is to move the most used customer services to the front of the building so that they're most accessible to people when they come in the front door. Now when you come in, you have to kind of walk through City Hall to find the utility department or the tax department or building codes. And all of that's going to be relocated toward the front entrance so that it will be right there when you come in the front door. So there will be a number of changes occurring over the next few months, but we are working very diligently to make your interaction with the city as seamless and as easy as possible.
Absolutely. And part of the process that we're going to be going into next year, and something that we've been diligently working on, is our comprehensive plan that occurs every 5 to 6 years.
Right.
And that process has begun, but it's going to intensify as we go further into 2020.
Right. We've had a number of meetings so far with our comprehensive plan consulting team. They were in town recently for another 3 days where they met with a number of key stakeholders through the community, business leaders, institutional leaders. We had a number of stakeholder groups that met amongst those one-on-one interviews, and it's making great progress. It'll be several months before the plan's done, and there's much more work to be done. But we've received a lot of valuable feedback. You've been in a lot of those meetings, and you know firsthand a lot of the good ideas that we've had. But we had a public meeting at Appalachian Warehouse Arena in early December. We had 25 people attend that meeting, which was great. It was a great way for people to give their input on the city's comprehensive plan and the future where they want to see us go in the next 5 years. So there will continue to be opportunities for you to provide your input, and we'll be working on that for a few more months.
Some of those topics that there were 6 different shareholder meetings or stakeholder meetings, and they talked about anything from downtown to historic preservation and parks, which is certainly lends itself to a quality of life component that we have there, schools, residents, and one of the favorite groups that we spoke to were a group of high school, junior high, and elementary school students that I came away from that meeting thinking, if you want honesty and you want to know exactly what is needed, then you ask a child, and they'll tell you. But they were phenomenal and gave wonderful ideas, as did all of our people that attended the meeting. So we're looking forward to continuing that process.
Right. In our last comprehensive plan that we did in 2013, I guess, we used high school students for their input. Mayor Carter was very much encouraged using middle school and elementary school students this year. They have great ideas, and we did that also with the playground that we did at the mini park, and a lot of the ideas that those kids had were incorporated into that playground, and I believe it's been more successful because of that.
Well, they're going to be the ones that live here
That's right.
in the next coming
Absolutely.
years and come back to raise their families. So
Yep.
their input is critical to this process. Let's talk about the city just recently went through an audit with rave reviews.
Right. Yeah, every fiscal year, the city is required to go through an audit, and we have to submit that to Frankfurt. So for the past fiscal year, 2018, 2019, our auditing firm found no issues whatsoever with the city. It was a clean audit, no discrepancies. And the net position, which is really the difference between the city's assets, the things we own, and the debt that we owe, increased 7%, which is indicative of a growing economy and the continued growth in the city that we see, thankfully, year over year. We have a strong reserve in place. It's estimated 10 to 11 months of reserve. So if the city had no more revenue for that amount of time, we could continue to operate as we are now. So it was a good audit. It's always good to do that and kind of get a scorecard on where you are as a city. We also did that for Appalachian Wireless Arena. The arena went through some changes last year as we changed general managers. And in that transition, there was fewer shows were booked and scheduled. So there was a decrease in revenue and there was an increase in expenditures. That increase in expenditures is tied directly to the arena beginning to pay its general manager itself. Typically, or previously, that had been a position that was funded by the city of Pikeville, and we're no longer doing that. So there was some change there, but on a really positive note, the contribution that the city makes to the arena decreased by more than $400,000 from the past fiscal year to this fiscal year. So the arena is very much beginning to stand on its own and doing quite well.
And we'll talk about this in a few minutes, but it's very, very busy.
Absolutely.
Coming up in 2020, the next few months are going to be, I think it's something every weekend.
That's right. Yeah.
For several months. So looking forward to all of those opportunities. Let's talk about the Community Kitchen RFP.
Mm-hmm. That's a program that we began in 2017. I think the first grants were awarded in calendar year 2018. The first year, I think we had 3 grant recipients that followed through the process, provided food opportunities or meals to needy and homeless throughout our community. So we have we have continued that program in 2018, 2019, and we'll be renewing that in 2020. So the RFP is out now, and the commission will be awarding those in the January meetings.
One of the things that we've talked about for the past few months when we had nice weather was paving projects and a few things going on Thompson Road and Cassidy Boulevard. Those projects finally are finished, and for the most part, and it's easier to maneuver.
Absolutely, yeah.
For a little bit there, it was, and we appreciate the patience,
Right,
because
right.
anytime that you have a paving project, it creates a little, a little lapse in.
There's a little pain there for a while,
a little pain
wasn't
there for
there?
a little bit, but it is finished now, just in time for the holiday season.
But as with most things, it's much better now.
Yes.
So the road is paved, it's striped. Excellent job of Mountain Enterprises and the striping company. The median that we've talked about in the past is now done. It's been seeded. It'll be much nicer now than it was previously when it was just asphalt and paint. In the spring, we'll be planting some flowers in there and shrubbery and making it, a small park-like setting. It'll be nice. But beyond that, the commission has awarded a contract to Integrated Engineering, which is our engineering firm, for a study of the Thompson Road, Cassidy Boulevard corridor, looking for ways to make that area safer and to pass traffic more efficiently. It's a very busy area now. There's a lot of traffic in that area. During the holidays, it's kind of gridlock because there's more cars than there is places for them to go, I suppose. So we're looking for ways to improve that, maybe additional access points at some point in the future. So that work's going to be ongoing. There'll be people in that area counting cars, counting traffic, working within the roadway, things of that nature. So there's going to be a lot of work in that area in the next few months, and hopefully that's going to yield some positive results.
We hope so, and it is can be painful at times when you do that, like you said. But the great thing is that we do have the problem of people coming here and being the hub of our region, so to speak, with visitors and shoppers and people just utilizing what we have in this area. So it is a good problem to have.
Absolutely, yeah.
And looking to make it as easy and as efficient and safe
That's
as possible. Speaking of safety, our Pikeville Police Department just recently went through several promotions, so we want to recognize those officers.
Yeah, all the attention that's been on pensions in Kentucky has led to some retirements, as you would expect. So a number of our senior officers have been retiring. We've been replacing them with younger officers. But as those leadership positions come open, it's very important that we fill those, not only for the current department, but as we move into the future so that all of our leadership transitions are seamless. So in the past few months, we've promoted 3 sergeants to replace those that have retired or moved to a higher position. Chad Branham and Sonny Buckley and Billy Ratliff were just promoted to sergeants. All of those have been with the department for a number of years. They're great people, good character, integrity, and will be excellent leaders within the police department. Now, one of those sergeants was promoted to lieutenant. Russell Blankenship is now a lieutenant in the police department. The former lieutenant was promoted to captain, which was Mike Riddle. So now we have a full command staff in the police department. If we experience other retirements, then that transition will be very seamless, and we'll have people in those positions that have got the experience that they needed in order to be successful as we move into the future.
It's ever evolving, for sure.
We are blessed with a lot of excellent officers.
We absolutely are. DataMax is something that we want to touch base on today a little bit and explain to people what that actually is.
Yeah, DataMax is a company they're based in the Southeast, I think in North Carolina, and they specialize in municipal governments and assisting with collection of occupational taxes, net profit taxes, ensuring people are complying with all your business licensure laws. So they approached us about this, and we spent some time looking into it. A number of cities throughout the Southeast, including some of our closest neighbors like Prestonsburg, use DataMax, and it's been very successful for them. They have expertise in towns like Pikeville, with universities and hospitals and community colleges, and the vendors that serve those institutions are regionalized, and they show up in every city that has those institutions throughout the Southeast. So they know the companies that may not be in compliance with our ordinances. So each month they will send a list of companies that they believe may be operating in Pikeville to our tax administrator. Rebecca Hamilton's the tax administrator, and she will compare that list of companies to the list that currently have business licenses, and then any that we are currently working with to get them in compliance. So any company that DataMax identifies and we're not already working with, they will begin collection efforts with that company. They will achieve 50% or receive 50% of the revenue that the city receives from that company for 2 years. After the 2-year period, they roll off DataMax's contract and they become just companies in the city, and we receive 100% of that revenue. 50% may seem like a large number for that service, but it's really not. It's revenue that we're not receiving now, and we really have no way of knowing of who those companies may be. So just getting them in compliance and ensuring that they are following all the rules and regulations that our brick and mortar businesses in Pikeville are following is really important. The people that choose to locate their business here have to comply. I mean, it's easy for us to drive down the street and see a business that's operating. It's not easy for us to know who may be selling materials to the hospital or the university, but those people have to comply as well. So this is a way of ensuring that our ordinances, attempting to ensure that our ordinances are applied fairly across the entire business community.
Very good. We've had some exciting times in the past couple of weeks with our football team at Pikeville High School, winning yet another state championship.
Yeah, this is their 5th state championship. The last one was in 2015, I believe.
I believe so.
And they played one of their familiar competitions, rivals, yes, Paintsville, and won convincingly, 43-0. So that was a great win for the football team, and the commission will be recognizing and congratulating them at its January 13th meeting. The football team, they're good ambassadors for the city in that anytime they're competing on a statewide stage, then that brings notoriety to Pikeville. And they represent the city very well, bring home championships. So it's really good to have them successful. We are very blessed with a school system that is achieving great things both academically and athletically. And you know from economic development that it is imperative that the school system be top-notch, because when companies are looking at your area, they're interested in where their kids are going to go to school or where their employees' kids are going to go to school. So it's a great tool for Pikeville in so many ways. But we just want to congratulate them on that success. Yeah. That's awesome.
It's a big feat, and there's such a tradition of excellence there in football, and the successes that they have had. They're led by wonderful men who are raising men, and I think that speaks volume. When you speak to any of those players, you know that they've been taught the right way.
They have, yeah.
How to be nice young men. So congratulations to them. Look forward to having them at the commission meeting. We do have several projects. We always have several projects that are going on in the city of Pikeville, from roadways to buildings to football fields. So we're going to go over some of those projects that we have now and update our community. And one that is always talked about, especially now that you can actually see pretty much what it's going to look like, is our Overlook Event Center at the top of Bob Amos Park.
Right. We are very close to the completion of that project. There have been as many as 35 workers up there in the recent weeks, all at the same time. So it's been a very busy construction site. But it's moving quickly. It's moving toward completion with a substantial completion in early February. The retaining walls for the cabins have been poured now, so as soon as we choose a developer to build those, those sites are ready to go. We're completing the drywall and the masonry and the painting now, so it's really beginning to come together and be finished. It's a project we're all excited about.
Visiting weekly or bi-weekly when you do, it's amazing to see the work that has been done, especially now that everything inside is starting to take shape, and you actually see fabric and like you said, the masonry work go in. It's going to be beautiful. A lot of people are already booking for that, and we don't want to forget that if you do have an upcoming event that you are wanting to inquire, that Andrea will be more than happy to talk to you.
Yeah, just contact Andrea Collins at the arena.
Yeah. Kentucky Enterprise Industrial Park, something we always talk about too. The access road, drive by there again weekly, and it's amazing the type of work and how quickly the work is being done.
It really is. That project has gone much quicker than I expected it to, really. In the past month, BZAC has moved almost 800,000 cubic yards of material, which is a massive amount of material. But that roadway construction is continuing. Will continue through the month of December, as well as the drainage construction. And as we've talked a number of times before, that project's critical to the continued growth of the park. While we have a road now, it's long and circuitous, and it takes a little while to get to the top of the hill. But this road will be much more direct access, and it'll be very helpful.
And eventually it will be the main entrance to the park too, once we get that filled. And speaking of which, we have finally been awarded the AML, or received the funding for the AML grant that we received, $5.7 million to begin the construction of a new spec building at the park.
Right, those plans are wrapping up as soon as the plans are complete and the building permits are issued. Our construction manager, Codell Construction, will begin issuing bid packages for the work, and you'll start to see dirt moving on that site.
And there's a lot of interest in that building through the Economic Development Office weekly. We have people that are inquiring about that.
We do.
So we look forward to getting it filled up with a business that's going to create jobs with nice wages and a great quality of life. So we hope to announce soon who the tenant of that building will be. Hopefully 2020 will be a big year.
We hope so.
We certainly do. Also, if you've been to Bob Amos Park, the interior portion of the track has taken a new look.
It has, much different.
much different.
Rather than a grass field now, it's a turf football field with the outline of Kentucky at the 50-yard line and a star in the location of Pikeville. We had the ribbon cutting there a few weeks ago with representatives of UPike and the city. And that's a project that is really a partnership between those two entities, the city and the university. And it's good in so many ways for both entities. The college now has a field that they can practice on. They have primary use of that field. And it frees the field at Hamley Athletic Complex for the high school team, as well as just reduces the use on that turf. So this project has so many benefits, but it's been a great addition to Bob Amos. Received rave reviews on social media when the pictures went out.
It's beautiful.
So we're really proud of that.
Yeah. One thing I love about that field, though, is that our little ones are going to be able to utilize that field
Absolutely.
also.
Little League will still play there.
Yeah.
Junior high football will utilize it. The public can use it when those teams aren't using it. So it's a great new thing.
Great asset for the park. Wastewater treatment plant.
Thankfully, that project is almost done. I believe we've talked about that for
Forever.
a long time.
We have.
And that project's reached substantial completion now, so there's a few little punch list items left to be done. The contractor's wrapping those up, and then that will be over.
Be finished
It
completely.
will, thankfully.
Well, let's talk about Winterfest. This is one of our favorite events that we have.
It is.
And it's Jimmy Taylor and Minta and the whole crew, UMG, everybody involved with Winterfest this year has really done a remarkable job at changing the look.
Right.
At completely changing the look and making it just a beautiful place to spend your day or your evening. We have so many school kids, that's what we love about it, that are coming in and doing a much better job, I will say this from firsthand experience, than their parents are at skating on the rink. But it's just a beautiful thing, and we're happy to welcome everyone from the region to the park.
Yeah, I think this is our third year doing that, and like you said, it's a whole new look. It's a more traditional look than we've had in the past, and very picturesque and just a beautiful sight, really. Jimmy and his team have done an excellent job with school groups through the days and giving them that experience. But in the evenings for parents and families, other groups that want to go. It opened on November 30th, the same day as Shop Small Saturday. But on December 7th, when we had the Christmas parade and the Christmas tree lighting, they had a very busy day. So, and then the following day as well. So it's been a success.
And recently when we had our first snow of the year, it was one of those wet, heavy snows that kind of stuck to all the beautiful trees in the park, and it really was like a winter wonderland. It was absolutely beautiful. Heavily photographed that day.
Absolutely. And we've added carriage rides this year as well.
Oh, yes, absolutely.
So
Can't forget that.
Muddy Boots is offering the carriage rides, and I think the day of the Christmas parade was the first day they did that, and it was very busy for them. It was just ride after ride after ride. So it was a positive addition.
Great addition, absolutely. Many events. So we mentioned earlier that the Appalachian Wireless Arena, now really operating on its own, has something booked just about every weekend. And honestly, through the week too. You can go over there and there's always seminars or conventions, or there's always activity going on.
Right.
But beginning in January, really, I think through May, I believe Paul told me, something is going on just about every weekend.
Absolutely. The end of December is the Tyler Childers concerts, 3 concerts sold out. And then we move into the next year, and there's literally something going on all the time. We have the Tri-State Arena Cross in January, and then PJ Masks Live will be there toward the end of January. Leonard Skinner tickets are on sale now.
Yes.
You can buy those at the Appalachian Arena, at the Community Trust box office, or at Ticketmaster. And then in March, The Price is Right Live is coming, and that's been really generated a lot of excitement.
I think that's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Certainly do. But there's always something to do. And like you mentioned, Leonard Skinner tickets, it's going to be their last stop on their farewell tour. I mean, how many times can they do a farewell? But it is supposed to be the last stop on their tour, and they have been here before.
They have.
And it's a phenomenal concert, but they're also bringing along Travis Tritt, who was here just a few months ago, but this is going to be a totally different show than what he did with the set he did before. So looking forward to that. Better get your tickets now.
And there's lots more announcements coming in the future.
And we did announce, I believe, the rodeo
We did, yeah,
The
that's in
rodeo
March.
is coming.
Yeah.
That's going to be a lot of
It's
fun.
been a number of years since the rodeo was here, but we're excited to have that back.
So many different things you forget. You forget to
You do.
to write them down and mention them. The Appalachian Center for the Arts, one of our favorite places. Appalachian Christmas Homecoming going on now.
Yeah, Robin
Soon.
Irwin and her team there are doing a tremendous job, and that's our Christmas play this year. I think it extends to the 21st, and you'll be seeing in the next few weeks and months what the 2020 season is going to be. So lots of exciting announcements coming there as well.
Very good. We are out of time, and we have talked about a lot.
We
But
have.
we do want to wish everybody a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. We'll be back together in January to update everyone on more projects and more businesses that are coming
Right,
to our
right.
town, and certainly more events that everyone can participate in.
For sure.
All right, Philip, thanks.
Thank you.
This has been the Pikeville City Managers Report. Thank you so much for joining us.